Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the 5-game NBA preseason slate on Monday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, PGA, and esports, daily fantasy sports sites. Before we get into the video, I want to thank you guys again for the continued support. It has been insane recently on the live streams especially. Again, we hit over 400 concurrent viewers on Saturday. If you guys enjoy all this free content, would really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. As always, for these preseason slates, I will be live streaming as well. It is huge to check out the live streams because things change, right? And we got to keep on top of the news. So I'll be live 45 minutes before lock on my YouTube channel to go over everything. Also, if you guys want or are interested in NFL content, I'll be live for Monday Night Football Showdown slate 30 minutes before lock, and I also have a video up for that as well. So just a ton of content for you guys coming out with videos, with live streams. Also, if you guys cannot watch these videos, I do upload an Apple Podcast. The link is in the description below. It's the DK DFS show. And finally, I want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring the show. If you guys are not familiar with PrizePicks, it's a site where you can bet on player props. You can bet pair anywhere from 2 to 5 bets and win up to 10x your money. So if you guys want to sign up, you can use the code DKDFS. That's DKDFS, all one word. 100% match up to $100. So you put $100 in, you get $200 to play with. And yeah, it's a kind of fun way, right? A little bit different from DraftKings. You're not playing against anyone. You're just playing against the house. So I'll go over a couple picks I like here, at the end of the video. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So before we talk about players and their prices for this 5-game slate, let's take a look back at how we did tonight on Sunday. So I told you guys there was going to be a pretty big edge with everyone focusing on NFL and NBA, and there was. So let's go over the core that we had in the live stream. Trae Young, he finished with 38.5 fantasy points. He was less than 50% owned. This is in the big, the $10 tournament. THT, Horton Tucker, I was hammering down. With the Lakers having a very thin roster, you want to jam a lot of Lakers in. I was like, at least two. Horton Tucker was the guy I liked the best. 62 fantasy points at 50% owned. Half the field faded him. Yeah, there is a huge edge, guys, still in the preseason. Kyle Kuzma, 40.5 fantasy points, 20% owned. The ownership was just, I couldn't believe it, especially after what we saw last game, right, with the Lakers rotation, and nothing changed, right? There's a couple guys they added in with KCP and Markieff Morris and Gasol, but they took out some other guys, so they literally only had 8 active players. And a lot of these Lakers were so low owned, I couldn't believe it. Kuzma, 40.5 fantasy points, and then Vucevic also included in the core, 59% owned, but finished with 40 fantasy points as well. So, it was a really good day overall. I know a lot of you guys did well, made some good money. NFL, same thing, right? The core of Rodgers, Devontae with Eckler and Montgomery. So super excited, and I'm excited to talk about this slate as well. So great night, first 3 nights of NBA, and let's see if we can keep it rolling here, guys. So that's it for the look back. Let's start with player by player breakdown. So first, we'll start with Toronto and Charlotte. So on the Toronto side, let's take a look at how the minutes were distributed that last game. Last game for Toronto, well, no one played more than 22 minutes, which is, honestly, that's more on the low end, right? What we're really aiming for is like 25 to 30 minutes in these first couple preseason games. So main guys like Pascal Siakam, like Fred VanVleet, 17, 20 minutes, not great. Now, yes, things can change, right? They probably do get a bump in minutes, but this will be something I'll keep an eye on. At the moment, it doesn't. If things don't change, I don't have a ton of interest in these Raptors. Now, again, if the minutes go up, yes, things will change. Lowry, he missed the game on was it on Friday or Saturday, and he is going to be out again. He got permission not to travel for the first 2 preseason games, so no Kyle Lowry tonight that we know. Siakam and Fred VanVleet do seem like underpriced if the minutes go up. So if we get news that they're going to play 25 to 30 minutes, I have a lot more interest in guys like Siakam, guys like Fred VanVleet. That's what the offense runs through, especially with no Kyle Lowry. Now, a couple of the cheap plays, which I mentioned in the last video, that played really well. Chris Boucher, right? He crushed in only 14 minutes, guys. He put up 9 points, 4 boards, 3 blocks, 2 assists, and a steal in 14 minutes. He had 5 fouls, though, so I think he lost some time because of his foul trouble. This is a guy that is just a great point per minute guy. And these are the type of guys we want to target in the preseason, especially value guys that, sure, they don't have to play a ton of minutes, but when they're out there, they're going to produce. So once again, I have interest in Boucher. I think the minutes probably do go up from 14. If we get close to like 20 minutes from Boucher, again, he could absolutely crush that salary. So definitely looking to Boucher, even with the slight price hike. Also, Terrence Davis. Mentioned him in the video last time. I think he finished with 20 fancy points. Another guy that's not afraid to shoot the ball. Right? He's very, very aggressive on the offensive end. So Terrence Davis, Chris Boucher, and then finally the rookie Malachi Flynn. These guys all got good runs. So, those are the guys I would kind of look to off the bench. Flynn, Davis, Boucher for value, especially if they do limit the starters again. And with the starters themselves, again, it would be Siakam, it would be Fred VanVleet that I would like if the minutes do go up for them. Baines is not really someone I'm interested in there at 4-6. And that's really it for me for Toronto. So let's talk about Charlotte. And let's take a look at the minutes. So minutes, not great for the Hornets in their first preseason game. No one played more than 20 minutes. Now, this is a young roster, so I do expect the minutes to go up. But again, something to monitor. So let's take a look at the price points. Hayward at 6'2". Yeah, it's okay, but I probably prefer some other studs. Like Graham Rozier seemed priced about right. I'm not super excited about Bridges either. LaMelo Ball at 5'2". He played 16 minutes, had 10 boards, 4 assists. And if the minutes go up, I would have a little bit of interest. PJ Washington at 4'8". That seems a little bit too cheap. He's a pretty decent point per minute guy. In 20 minutes, he had 8 points, 5 boards, 2 assists. So, yeah, there's some guys that are in play here on Charlotte, but at the moment, no one that I'm like really, really excited to jam in. So, the Martin twins at 4-3 respectively. It just, they really, really spread out the minutes. And everyone on the roster. Again, no one played more than 20. So, at the moment, there's not a ton I like. But like I said, things can change, and that's why it's important to check the live stream before lock. Let's move on to New Orleans and Miami. So this is the one game we have not yet seen so far. We've not seen either team in the preseason. But what I want to go over here with the Pelicans especially is Stan Van Gundy said he'll likely play starters around 30 minutes. Now, 30 minutes, that is gold in the preseason. So, yeah, you're going to want some exposure to the Pelicans. Right now, they're the team I'm the highest on. So, really, really do like the Pelicans. If we go take a look at prize picks, right, we have Brandon Ingram at 24 projected fantasy points. Lonzo Ball at 20.5. If those guys get 30 minutes, I think I like the over on both of them. So, those are 2 picks I do like a good amount because, again, we kind of know what the minutes are going to be. And 30 minutes in the preseason, like I said, is really, really good. So Ingram, Ball, Zion all look pretty solid. I think for his price, Zion probably looks the best at 6.3K. That's just too cheap for Zion in 30 minutes. So right now, one of my favorite plays, Zion. Also have interest in Lonzo. Also have interest in Brandon Ingram. Now these guys, at times when Zion's out there, kind of take a back seat. But again, 30 minutes, you're going to want a lot of exposure to these Pelicans. If no other teams if all the other teams kind of play the starters around 20, then yeah, again, you're going to want to probably at least a couple of these Pelicans guys. So Ingram, Lonzo, Zion at the top are the guys I like a lot. We have Bledsoe out. We have Steven Adams out. We have J.J. Redick out. So there's some value here. And, yep, you guys know where I'm going. It's time. It's time. NAW in the preseason. If you guys followed me last year, he made us a ton of money. A ton of money. So, yeah, there's no more Frank Jackson we got to deal with. And they're missing a couple guards with Redick, with Eric Bledsoe. I don't think he starts, but he's definitely going to be in the rotation. They said they're going to keep it a tight rotation, right? About a 10-man rotation. So I like NAW for value. Again, he is a very aggressive player. When he's out there, he's going to take the ball to the bucket. He's going to shoot it. So, yeah, fire up NAW. Right now, one of my favorite value plays there, 4.4K. And we'll see who ends up starting at center. But there's viable plays here, right? Jackson Hayes at 4.8. I think he looks like a pretty decent option. He's a young guy. I expect good minutes from him. Nicole Melli at 4.3. So these are 2 guys that I kind of expect to man the middle with Steven Adams out. Other options here for the Pelicans, Hernan Gomez even. Like, he is a good point per minute guy when he gets minutes. Viable, cheap play as well. So we'll see what they end up doing with the bigs, like who ends up. Sorry, it's been a long day. Who ends up starting? But yeah, Hernan Gomez, Melly, Hayes, all viable cheap plays because someone's gonna have to start at center, right? So I don't think they're gonna start Zion at center. So I'm guessing it's be Ingram, Lonzo, Zion, one of those bigs, and probably Josh Hart would be my best guess for the starting lineup. And I like Josh Hart too, right? It's just right now at the moment, the Pelicans are the team I like the best. So yeah, like a lot, like all the starters. I like NAW off the bench a good amount, and then those value bigs, which we went over. Okay, let's move on to Miami. So Miami, we don't have anything definitive yet, but I think they're going to kind of play this like the Lakers, maybe rest the main guys, the veterans, or just not play them a ton. So at the moment, I'm not super interested in a lot of the Miami guys just because, again, they were playing in the NBA Finals like a couple months ago. So, with Jimmy, Bam, Dragic, Hero, Duncan, Nunn, the guys who look to of those like main guys would probably be Hero and Nunn just because the youngsters, right, they usually get more run in the preseason. So we'll see what Miami does if they play everyone. Again, this will kind of be a wait-and-see approach. We'll talk about this more in the live stream. If they do end up resting some of the main guys and they play a guy like Hero or they play a guy like Nunn, then obviously I like those guys. Even Duncan's a young guy, right? So we'll just have to see what they do. Cheaper guys, their rookie Precious Achua, they select him with a 20th overall pick. Like, if they rest a lot of guys, I assume they're going to want to give the rookie some good runs. So, yeah, potential value there. Don't see them playing Udonis Haslem too much. I'm surprised. It honestly shocks me he is still on this team. But, yeah, so right now at the moment, Miami is kind of a wait and see with what they end up doing. Let's talk about Dallas and Milwaukee now. So, Dallas side, these starters, this was tilting that night on Saturday because I played Luka. We had no indication of starters only playing the first half, and no one played more than 16. 16 minutes was the most that we saw for these Mavs. I think they played every single player on the roster, kind of like Clippers-esque, right? Like we've seen over the last couple of preseason games. So not a ton of interest right now. If things change and the starter's going to get more run, then I have a lot more interest in a guy like Luka. But other than that, like, there's no one really I like, even if the minutes go up. Like, I'm not super interested in Hardaway Jr. or Richardson. The bigs, they have a lot of guys. They have Powell, they have Boban, they have Willie Cauley-Stein. Yeah, so really, there's not a ton I like. It's kind of Luka for me, and that's it. If the starters get extended. If they're going to play these same minutes of only the first half, then I have interest in no one. So Dallas is a team that, at the moment, I don't have a ton of interest in. On the Milwaukee side, a little bit different. We take a look at their game in the first season game. Well, starters got a little bit more run. Giannis, 25. Middleton, 25. Drew, 21. Bobby Portis, we got him at low ownership on Saturday, absolutely crushed with a double-double. He was like 10% owned. I know he won a lot of people some GPPs. It's just been a really, really good start to the NBA preseason. But, that's better for these starters, right? Guys playing into the mid-20s minutes. So, Giannis Antetokounmpo, at the moment, you just play him. If he's going to play 25 minutes, play Giannis, right? Don't get cute with it. But if there's reason to believe that maybe they limit the starters, then obviously you look elsewhere. But yeah, if we get 25 or more minutes for Giannis, you just want to play him, right? Now, with Drew at 7'5", Middleton at 6'8", I think they're decent options, but how much Milwaukee exposure do you want? So for me, it would just be Giannis if the starters get like 25 minutes again. Drew, Middleton, I think more just contrarian plays. And once again, Bobby Portis, yes, I like him again. In 20 minutes, he had 14 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. Like I said, Milwaukee is pretty thin up front. Like, they have Brook Lopez, they have Giannis. Behind that, they don't have a lot of depth. So Bobby Portis is going to get decent run. I expect about the same here. 20, 18, 22 minutes, somewhere in that range. And like Boucher, an amazing point per minute guy. Very, very aggressive on the offensive end. So I really like Bobby Portis. Again, now we're not going to get him at the low ownership like we did on Saturday, right? We got him at like 10% owned. The ownership is going to go up, but I still, once again, like Bobby Portis. And then everyone else, there's not a ton I'm super interested in for the Bucks. Minutes were pretty spread out with the rest of the roster. Now, if we get news, right, that they rest like a lot of the main guys, Then, there's potential value with guys like Connaughton or DiVincenzo, right? Don't play Frank Mason. He's no longer on the roster. That's really my thoughts there with Milwaukee. Let's move on. Last couple games here, Memphis and Minnesota. So on the Memphis side, let's take a look at their minutes in the game on Saturday. So starters got decent run. 22 for JV, 25 for John Morant, 22 for Dillon Brooks. That's decent. So if we get about the same or even more, then these guys look like pretty good options. Now, John Morant, we're not getting him at a discount. He did play really well, like 20 points, 11 assists, 4 boards. He is turning into a really, really good NBA player. Obviously, he kind of had a breakout too in the bubble, but Ja is legit. So if we're going to get 25 or so minutes from John Morant, definitely in play. Now, for me, I would prioritize Giannis over Ja, but again, if there's going to be more minutes, if he gets like 30 minutes, you can make the argument to play John Morant. They're missing Jaren Jackson Jr. They're missing Winslow. Clark, I don't think is going to be available. Doubtful. So they're missing some higher usage guys in the offense. We know where the offense is going to run through, right? It's Morant, it's JV. Now, JV at 8-1, I love playing this guy because he's just so good in the offensive end, but 8.1K, I don't know if I can pay 8.1K for him. So he did have a decent day in 22 minutes, 13 points, 9 boards, 1 assist, 1 block. I think viable. If we get news that they're going to play more minutes, and obviously, again, JV, Morant would look better. The other players on this team, there's not a ton I like a lot. Like Dillon Brooks and Kyle Anderson probably passes for me. DeAnthony Melton would be the guy off the bench I would consider at 4.9K. He played, let's go to Memphis. He played 20 minutes, had 11 points, one board, 2 assists. Like he's a pretty high usage guy playing with the bench unit. So he would probably be the guy that I would look to if I'm going to play someone on the bench for Memphis. But that's really it for me. Let's move on to Minnesota. So on the Minnesota side, starters, low 20s minutes. D'Lo played 23, Cat 21, Beasley 23. The rookie Anthony Edwards did play 26. Had a subpar performance though, only 5 points, 4 boards. So let's take a look at the pricing. Cat's at 8.6 in play, but I need to see some more minutes out of him, right? If he's only going to play 22 minutes, I would much prefer Giannis 25 minutes at a very similar price, right? So at the moment, it's Giannis is my favorite spend up, assuming nothing changes. But we know it's a preseason and a lot of things can change. And that's why we got to keep on top of things. It's very important to follow my Twitter, guys. I will keep you guys updated with all this news. Again, also live stream. I just want to hammer those things down. It's very, very important. But Cat is a very, very high usage guy. The matchup's good too. JV's not a good defender. So if we get 25 plus minutes from Karl-Anthony Towns, he would definitely be in play. Kind of the same thing with D'Lo at 8.3. For me, I give the edge to Cat, just a slightly higher floor. Both are in play here. But again, I think I would prefer Giannis at a similar price as a spend up. Rubio at 5.8, probably pass for me. Anthony Edwards at 4.9K did get the most minutes. Did not look great though, right? He finished with 5 points, 4 boards, 1 assist in 26 minutes. But he's the guy that I could see getting extended the most. Yeah, he's in play for value. I'm not super, super excited about it just off what we saw last game, but definitely in play. And below that, there's not a ton I like. So let's finish up with Phoenix and Utah, guys. Let's take a look at the Suns and their minutes in the last game. So starters, or at least the main guys, low 20s minutes. So the guys like Bridges, Ayton, and Booker, 24, 22, 23 respectively. A couple of the fringe starters, guys on the bench, the young guys like Payne and Javon Carter got extended a bit. Payne with 30 minutes, Javon Carter with 31 minutes. And then below that, the rookie Jalen Smith played 18 minutes. But that was really it. So looking at the prices, Booker at 8.7, Ayton at 7.2, just all right. They're fine. Again, I don't think I'm going to prioritize them. If we get low 20s minutes, the matchup is not great here against Utah. Chris Paul, we'll see if he's available. I don't expect him to play, but you never know. I don't expect Crowder to play either or Sarge. These guys all missed the last game. We'll see. Obviously, just something to monitor. The two plays I think are definitely viable here are Payne and where is he? Payne and Javon Carter. So Javon Carter's at 4.2, Payne's at 4.9. Both these guys got extended the most, right? Javon Carter, 31 minutes, 8 points, 6 assists, 3 boards. And then Cam Payne, or Campaign 8-6-4. Javon Carter 8-6-3. So both these guys are potential value here if they get close to 30 minutes again. Finally, let's finish it up with Utah. So Utah starters didn't play a ton. Gobert 17, Mitchell 17, Bojan 17, Ingles only 14. So not great. Clarkson did play the most out of any, or second most with 22 minutes off the bench. We know he's a high usage guy. So at the moment, Clarkson probably looks the best for me at his price of 5.2K. We'll see. If starters get more minutes, we could have a little bit more interesting guys like Mitchell and Gobert, but only 17 is on the very, very low end for starters preseason minutes. So really, there's not a ton I like on the Utah side. I think Clarkson would be my favorite play. The rookie Azubuike, he didn't get a ton of run, 13 minutes at 6 points, 3 boards. If you want like a dart throw, I guess it's okay. But that really wraps it up for me for Utah. And I think that's going to do it for the video today, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. Again, I'll be live 45 minutes before lock for the NBA preseason slate, also 30 minutes before lock for the NFL showdown slate. Thanks again. I hope you guys all have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow in the live stream.